له له الملك وله الحمد وهو على كل شيء قدير ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله تعالى عليه وعلى آله وسلم وبعد. قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم الحمد لله الذي أحيانا بعدما أماتنا وإليه النشور. We begin by praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, seeking His guidance, seeking His forgiveness, seeking His assistance, and proclaiming our belief and trust in Him. We bear witness that He alone is His worship subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that He has sent messengers and prophets and scriptures throughout time. And we affirm that this process came to a conclusion with the coming of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the final prophet of Allah and a mercy unto all nations. We live in uncertain times, and you can say that any time is an uncertain time, but nonetheless, we express the statement that we live in uncertain times. We look at, say, for example, disasters that we see in the world, whether they're man-made or whether they're made by nature or as a consequence of something that's happened within nature. Now, from the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, we learn a particular statement. And it is not so much as a dua as much as it is a statement of hamd. And this is a statement that the Prophet ﷺ taught that should be said upon waking up. And I'll recite that statement one more time. Alhamdulillah alladhi ahyana ba'da ma amatana wa ilayhi nushur. And the meaning of it is quite simple. Praise belongs to Allah, who has raised us up after death. Because metaphorically speaking, death, or I should say sleep, is connected to death. In fact, there's a proverb in Arabic which says, "An-nawmu ukhtul maut," that the sleep is the sister of death. So the Prophet teaches praise belongs to Allah, who has given us life and raised us up after death, and unto Him is the final resurrection. And so we say that because, quite simply, there is a chance that when we sleep that we're not going to wake up. There is a chance that when we sleep we're not going to wake up. Which is, by the way, one of the reasons why it is important to sleep with the statement of La ilaha illallah. To be conscious of at least reciting La ilaha illallah before going to sleep. So we have made it to another year, at least on the Gregorian calendar. And I don't want to get into is the Gregorian calendar versus Islamic calendar, but you know, the mainstream calendar, we have made it to another year. And just as we have made it to another day. So at the very least we say alhamdulillah for that. At the very least we are thankful to God for making it to another day. Today's khutbah will center around a particular ayah, just one short ayah of the Qur'an. And it is a very important ayah, I believe. Actually all of the Qur'an is important, but there is something here which I find particularly important for today. So I intend to go through this ayah very slowly, inshallah. بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الله عنده علم الساعة. One more time. إن الله عنده علم الساعة. Indeed, the knowledge of the hour with Allah. Sa'ah, hour, measure of time. The time limit, so to speak. Its expiration in a worldly sense will bring forth judgment. One of the names of Qiyamah is Sa'ah. One of the names of Qiyamah, or the judgment day in the Qur'an, is As-Sa'ah, the hour. Now, when that hour will come, we have no idea. We have no notion or serious idea the precise moment or the precise time when the day of judgment will come. The ayah continues, وَيُنَزِّلُ الْغَيْثَ. Indeed, He sends forth rain. He sends down rain. God sends down rain. And rain brings countless blessings. It's almost unnecessary to talk about it. Rain brings forth countless blessings. It is seeding life in this world. Water is the basic ingredient necessary for any kind of life. And by the way, the Quran says that. The Quran teaches that in many places. It goes on to say, وَيَعْلَمُ مَا فِي الْأَرْحَامِ. That He, meaning Allah, He knows what is in the wombs. He knows what is in the wombs. Now, the moment of judgment and what comes at the end and what happens before that, birth, provision, meaning how much, how you're going to earn your money and all those things. All of these things are under the control of Allah. And these things are within the knowledge of Allah. And so we go to obtain degrees, a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, a doctorate, whatever. We go to obtain degrees. But that doesn't necessarily guarantee a high income. That doesn't guarantee that your future will have a high income. Couples, if you excuse me for saying these things, couples can use birth control and still the wife gets pregnant. And vice versa. وَمَا تَدْرِي نَفْسٌ مَاذَا تَكْسِبُ غَدًا وَمَا تَدْرِي نَفْسٌ بِأَيِّ أَرْضٍ تَمُوتُ. Very powerful lines here. No person has been informed of what they shall acquire tomorrow, nor have they been informed of what land in which they will die. Especially that last part. No one knows in what country, in what city, in what state, or perhaps in the future, in what planet that person is going to die in. None of us know that. And so, especially that last line, most of us can appreciate that ayah. Most of us can appreciate that ayah. People immigrate to a country, but they don't think they're going to die in that country. Most of us can appreciate that, especially that part of the ayah. And even before that, the sinful can become virtuous, and those who are deemed as good believers or see themselves as good believers, etc., they can fall into that which opposes such a status. Actually, I'm thinking of there's a hadith which speaks about, I'm trying to remember it exactly, but there's a hadith which speaks about how there will be a time in which people can go to sleep as believers and then wake up as kuffar. So, we don't really know what the future is at some point. But we have made it to another year. Nonetheless, we've made it to another year. But we have no guarantee that we're going to make it to next year. We have no guarantee that on January 3rd, 2015, or 2016, that we're going to be here in this mosque, alive. We have no guarantee about that. Similarly, our status as parents, or our income, or our mentality, our family situation, all of those things can change at any moment. All of those things can change at any moment. And to go back to the last part of the ayah, I think it's safe to say that most of us in this room, in this mosque, have moved around a great deal in life. Have lived in this place, in that place, in this place, in that place. And again, to go back to that line in the ayah, we can die at any time in a place that we may not think of that we're going to die. So, why bring this up? Are we bringing this up in order to bring a depressed mood to the masjid? Someone may say yes, but actually the opposite is the case. This ayah or these statements are not brought up in order to bring a pessimistic mood to the Muslims. Rather, we are attempting to look at the reality, or at the realities of human existence as explained by the Quran. So, with all of this uncertainty, and we don't like to talk about uncertainty. Most of us don't like to talk about uncertainty. Most of us don't like to talk about death. Most of us don't like to talk about, what could happen, what couldn't happen. Most of us don't like to talk about those things. But knowing this uncertainty, or being made aware of this uncertainty, what are we to do? Well, we are to maintain taqwa. We are to strengthen our taqwa. Attaqullaha haqqa tuqatihi, Allah says. Not just have taqwa, but have proper taqwa. Attaqullaha haqqa tuqatihi wa la tamutunna illa wa antum muslimun. Have proper taqwa and do not die except as those who are submissive to Him. And surely, how can you die as Muslims? You only die as Muslims if you live as Muslims. Attaqullaha haqqa tuqatihi wa la tamutunna illa wa antum muslimun. So we are to maintain taqwa, and we are to strengthen taqwa. And certainly this is done with the things that we know about prayer and fasting and these things. But it's also done with the conscious doing of good, of involving one's time, resources, and indeed one's own self in those causes that create blessings for man. The Quran says, فَاسْتَبِقُوا الْخَيْرَاتِ. Isn't it what it says? فَاسْتَبِقُوا الْخَيْرَاتِ. To compete with one another in the khayrat. I think everybody here understands this word khayrat. And so when you involve yourself in causes that create better conditions or better situations for man, that creates something in yourself. And that's called a better human being. That's called a better human being. Not even just as a better Muslim, but as a better human being. And ultimately, this is the message, or this is the teaching of all of the prophets and messengers of God. كُنْتُمْ خَيْرَ أُمَّةٍ أُخْرِجَتْ لِلنَّاسِ, says the Quran. Is that a racist statement? Is that a negative or a statement of some kind of superiority? No. كنتم خير أمة أخرجت للناس تأمرون بالمعروف. This is why. تأمرون بالمعروف وتنهون عن المنكر. Then وتؤمنون بالله. At the end of that, وتؤمنون بالله. The work comes first. Then comes the belief in God. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala join us with those who are on that path path of taqwa and the path of khayr, inshaAllah. Ameen. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي ونسلم على رسوله الكريم وبعد. Actually, let me talk about the Bismillah for a moment. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Ar-Rahman is Allah's mercy as expressed in this world. And in this world, the rahmah of Allah goes for everyone and everything. رَبَّنَا وَسِعْتَ كُلَّ شَيْءٍ رَحْمَةً وَعِلْمًا. And the second part of the Bismillah, Ar-Rahim, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, the second part is the expression of Rahmah that is manifest in the next world. So it's a very unique and it's a very powerful statement, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. We don't know the divine measuring system. We are given hints of the divine measuring system in the Qur'an and in the Hadith literature. And the ulama of Islam over the ages have given their interpretations of these texts in this regard, the ideas about mercy and punishment, etc. So because we don't really know, in other words, we can't really predict exactly what God is going to do and what God is not going to do. Because people say it all the time. You know, I know that God is sending you to hell and that God is sending us to heaven. How do we know that? How do we know that? We have no idea. We have, you know, the Quran says, قُلْ أَتُعَلَّمُونَ اللَّهَ بِدِينِكُمْ. Are you, lowly man, going to teach God anything about deen? وَاللَّهُ يَعْلَمُ مَا فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَمَا فِي الْأَرْضِ. And God knows what is in the heavens and the earth. That's a very powerful statement there. But anyway, since we don't really know exactly what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will do or what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not do, how he'll make judgment about this, how he'll make judgment about that, it's because we don't know precisely. What we should do is be consistent in the correct causes. Fastabil khayrat. We should be consistent in the correct causes, in the right causes. Again, and that ends up helping humanity, but it also ends up helping yourself. Even if the good deed or the good action or the good khayr is a small khayr, do it consistently. And try to be better in it. Even if it's a small thing that you do that is a khayr. Do it and try to be consistent in it and try to improve on it. Because that small act might be the source of your salvation on the Day of Judgment. The Day of Judgment, by the way, is not an allegory. The Day of Judgment is a real event that will take place in human affairs. It's not an allegory. Allah says, كَتَبَ رَبُّكُمْ عَلَى نَفْسِهِ الرَّحْمَةِ, that He has ordained on Himself the rule of mercy. And I quoted another ayah earlier, in which the angels, let me give an explanation of that ayah now. The angels are acknowledging this particular statement, and it is in Surah Al-Ghafir, I believe. رَبَّنَا وَسِعْتَ كُلَّ شَيْءٍ رَحْمَةً وَعِلْمًا. The angels are acknowledging our Lord encompasses everything in these two pillars, rahmah and ilm. Rahmatan wa ilm. In mercy, the first one he says is, first one is mentioned as mercy, then the second one is knowledge. So going back to Qatl Rabbuhu ala Nafsi Rahmah, one of the things you learn from that is that even though we don't know exactly what God will do, but what we do learn is that, according to our deen at least, Allah is looking for reasons to bestow mercy before punishment. And I admit this idea might be abused, but that's what this is what our deen teaches us. And it's important to talk about, because oftentimes as Muslims, and I believe other religions as well, the people they speak about God as if he is a petty tax keeper. You know, they're ready to take away your blessings and take away your wealth and your homes and everything. We often imagine God like that. There are people who say, if you say Happy New Year's, then you're going to hell. Happy New Year's, you're no longer a Muslim. You make them fear of somebody because they say Happy New Year's or something. But our deen teaches us that God is looking for reasons, or excuses, He's looking for excuses to give mercy rather than punishment. That should be the attitude of the believers as well. Every day that we're above ground, going back to the ayah that sent us this khutbah, every day that we're above ground is a good day. Every day that we're above ground is a good day. Because it is an opportunity to do better. Because obviously after death, there's no more chances for us to do anything, good, bad, or ugly. So every day that we have above ground is a good day. Again, this is a good reason why when you wake up and say, Alhamdulillah. Every day above ground is a mercy from Allah. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. So let us try to remember that in this year, whether using the Islamic calendar or the Gregorian calendar or the Japanese calendar or the Jewish calendar, whichever calendar you want to use. Let us try to remember that. That every day that we have above ground is a good day. And act accordingly. We pray unto Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that when we wake up every day, we wake up with Iman. And that when we sleep, that we sleep with Iman. We pray that our lives reflect Iman. And we invoke Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for His mercy, for His guidance, and for His forgiveness. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا لا تجعلنا مع القوم الظالمين. ربنا آمنا فاكتبنا مع الشاهدين. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. ربنا إنك جامع الناس ليوم ريب فيه إن الله لا يخلف الميعاد. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. آمين. وأقم الصلاة.
الله أكبر الله أكبر.